I can't do that. And I really think that women get a bad rap in terms of their importance in America and around the world. And I think that when men really come to grips with that, we're going to see a whole nother world. Because women, inside of me there's a woman. But I don't confuse her. I don't shop at Victoria's Secret, you know. But I respect her and I listen. You write poetry, you write short stories, you write whatever comes. Are you decided to try to write a book?
In the future, yes.
In the future you want to do that?
Yes.
Is there any writer that comes off the top of your head that you particularly like?
I can give you a name of a speaker.
Who?
Alan Watts.
Alice
Alan, the man.
Alice Walker?
Alan Watts, the guy who wrote about Zen and Buddhism.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe I needed to try to listen to a few more women.
Are you into science fiction at all?
Absolutely.
Have you ever heard of a writer named Octavia Butler?
I'm sorry.
How many of you have ever heard of Octavia Butler? All right. Octavia Butler wrote, she's got quite a few classic books, but I would suggest get Wild Seeds. It's going to blow your mind. Great imagination, creativity. I just read where all of that stuff by The Matrix, you know, was done by a black woman. Did y'all know that? A woman named Sophie. And she lives in the projects in Baltimore. She gave her script to somebody who went to Hollywood, and they took all of the stuff in her story and broke it up and made a bunch of stories. Terminator 1, 2, 3, Matrix, all that stuff. And then how we see her in The Matrix is what? She's the Oracle, living where? In the projects. Isn't that interesting? My name is Abi O'Doon, for those of you who don't know who I am. And I'm a poet, and I happen to be joined today by some masterful musicians. I mean, this is off the chain. I mean, I can't even
We
tell
were
you.
going to introduce Abi O'Doon, but Abi O'Doon is introducing himself.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited when I get around a place with all these trees, because see, I talk to trees, y'all. And when I get around all these trees, and the trees are having this wardrobe change right now, and it is wonderful. So excuse me, let me back up and let him do what he's got to do.
Before, I was just going to say
Jim
welcome
wants to
everybody
make
to
a-
New Africa House. And I'm Jim Smethers from the Department of Afro-American Studies. And glad you all could come here today. Just a couple announcements before John Bracey, who's the chair of our department, does the introductions, a couple of events that are coming up. First of all, those of you who have access to cars and feel like taking a fun trip up to Franklin County today, is what you hear today is only a taste of what is going to happen later at 9 o'clock at the Ocean Grill in Greenfield as part of the Greenfield Annual Word Festival. If you've never been to the Annual Word Festival, and Paul Richmond, who's the organizer of it, is right here. It's a fantastic thing. Zillions of venues over like 5 days, hundreds of poets and people listening to poetry. It's got to be one of the biggest poetry events here in the Valley. So, you know, check it out if you.
These here are back on the table.
And there are, yeah, the schedules are back on the table. The other thing is that there's going to be a book signing at Amherst Books on December 5th with Sonia Sanchez, the poet Sonia Sanchez, John Bracey, and me, for our new book, SOS, Calling All Black People, a Black Arts Reader. You're all welcome. And the day before that, there'll be also another exciting book signing event at Amherst Books, where Sean Alexander, one of our graduates, now a professor at University of Kansas and director of the Langston Hughes Center there, will be signing his new book on the civil rights movement before the NAACP. So without further ado, John.
Yeah, welcome to New Africa House. This is a very special kind of day because Abi Odun goes way back. You know, I thought I was way back, but Abi Odun was back there when I was back there. And the significance of the last poets was making a kind of bridge between what we thought was like popular music, you know, kind of what you played in the park, you know, kicking drums and, you know, chanting to yourself, and what people thought was art. And what they did was they took the poetry and put it into the music. You know, and the form they used, of course, was a combination of African American forms. So if you ever see, you know, like Omar and Abi Odun, you close your eyes and you listen to you in church. You know, you got the double leads, you got the back and forth, you got the interaction, and so it draws deeply upon a number of African American traditions, and that's what makes their poetry and their songs and their music so powerful and so lasting. Get Abi Odun's book. This is most of his good stuff, but the one that's not in here is Niggas Are Scared of Revolution. But that is an SOS. So you got to get that one, you got to buy out. You get all the rest of his poetry in this book, but to get the one that I can't say out loud here, you have to go buy. Right, yeah, I'm not doing that. Right. You have to read that one at home by yourself. I'm not doing that one in public. Anyway. We have with him, this is an all-star cast. And half the all-star cast are like world-renowned. You got Tony Baca, who's been kicking drums in the Valley for years. If you can get a sound out of it, you can play it. Yeah. If you didn't know instruments, he probably would play the walls and the ceiling and it still sound good. You got Brother Massamba Diop, great Senegalese singer. Singer from Senegal. Right. And then we got Afro-Am's own, Don Giesling on. What are you playing today?
Playing the 5-string bass.
5-string bass.
Five-string
I didn't even know he
bass.
played 5-string bass. 5-string bass and Lil Dynamite Kevin. Kevin has a drum class with like 40 people in it, right? And if you're around this building on Friday afternoons, you will know that, right? Because the building be doing like that, you know. And people come by and say, "Do we need to call security?" I say, "No, that's just Kevin and the guys. They're doing their thing." He's a wonderful teacher, and they all studied together. They all went in Senegal. But was it last year they were all in Senegal? Yeah. Kevin and Tony and Massamba and Abi Odun. So I'm going to get out of the way and let them do what they do. And there'll be a little time for interaction maybe at the end, but if not, you'll walk away full of good stuff anyway.
And then go to Greenfield and get more.
Go to Greenfield, that's right. Head up to, follow him up to Pike and pick him
Not
up.
up to like 91.
And we forgot to mention, we have a lady that's with us, and her name is Tantra Zawadi. Okay, so so let's do this. Like to always open up with the pledge, and Tony knows this, and you could bring some rhythms on it. But first, let's get them into it. Like there was this thing that I did, you know, it's a pre.